Hi, witches. I'm introducing you to a software I use for consulting with larger multi-million dollar businesses. And I've decided to bring those techniques used for, companies from 5 to $100 million to small startups and solopreneurs run by soul-oriented women. I think if we use these techniques, it's possible to accelerate a lot faster, a lot more scientifically, and save a lot of money. This is called the Profit Acceleration Simulator, and there are 12 areas of the business we'll see shortly. And if you increase it by just 2.6% in each area, which takes about a year to do, your net profit will double. And here, profit and revenue are two separate things. Revenue is your gross income, profit is your net income or net profit after minusing all expenses. So I hope that distinction is clear. But anyway, let's go down to the simulator and start putting in numbers. So first I'm going to talk about startups because most of you all here are startups or don't have too much of revenue right now. Let's take and this is annual revenue. I'm going to take a figure 50,000, which is about, under 5,000 a month. Uh, Quite reasonable, I would think. Or let me take 5,000 a month, which would be 60,000. Uh, because you're mostly operating from home, I don't think anyone's really a brick and mortar business. You're going to take 100% gross profit margin because you don't really have any you know uh, staff costs and raw material cost and inventory cost and so on. If you are a hairdressing salon or a massage parlor, all that would come into play. For net profit margin, some of you may have expenses, most of you don't, but I know some of you employ VAs. I know some of you run Facebook ads. That's very rare, but it does happen. So let's be really pessimistic and say your net profit margin is 80%. For most of you, it'd be 100%. We're going to keep US dollars as the currency just for simplicity. Yeah. And if you go down here and you see the summation, your current profit on the right is 48,000. That's 60,000 minus 20%, 48,000. So remember that figure, 48,000, yeah? Now, how do we create magic? And with the same current revenue, we improve our net profit. So if you see these 12 elements I talked about earlier: cut costs, market dominating position, have a compelling offer, increase your price, upsell or cross sell, bundling, downsell, additional products and services, drip campaign, alliances and joint ventures, creating more leads, and digital marketing. If you work with only these 12 areas, and there are many more, okay, there are many more, but if you just work with these 12 main areas and tweak it very infinitesimally, yeah, just by 2.6% per area, you're going to get a doubling of profit. So let's put that figure in here. And if we go down here, you immediately see if you cut costs uh, by 2.6%, you get a $300 increase. If your market dominating position will get you a $1,500 increase, and so on. Total net impact for doing all these 12 actions, which can't be done overnight, takes time, can take over a year, may take 3 months, depending on how fast you act, about $20,000. So you can see here that you've added $20,000 to your bottom line, and from 48,000 you go to 67,000, and that's pretty impressive because that virtually adds uh, adds a large amount of money to your current revenue. So what I'm trying to say is, when you work with these 12 elements and you move them according to your own skill level, according to your own ability. Some of you may not be able to do some of these areas, but you can boost 2.6 to beyond 2.6. It could be 5, So let's look at how that works. Now again, we reset everything to 0. Uh, let's say you can't cut costs because you're a startup, you don't really have any cost to cut. But market dominating position, you could definitely get 5% out of it. You could have a really compelling offer, so you could get 6 out of it. You could improve your pricing because most of us tend to price low. Although I want to also talk to you later at some point of time about the value of offering a competitive price today, because the world is in a recession, and a lower price means more people and a higher price means fewer people, and you have to decide what works better for you and how skilled you are and how in demand what you offer is. So let's say you can increase your price margin, not too much, just a bit. You can definitely upsell and cross sell, that's for sure. Yeah, you can bundle your products and offerings, but let's be conservative and just say it's a 2. You definitely can downsell, that's a 3. Let's say you don't have any additional products and services. Let's say don't do a drip campaign. I always uh, encourage everyone to do a joint venture. So let's talk about 4 for a joint venture. Let's say you don't advertise or you don't get any more leads, so we'll be conservative then, no more digital marketing. But even there, you add about $18,000 or $19,000 to your bottom line, and you still go to 66. So as a startup, you can add 50% or so to your bottom line very easily by just working with 5 or 6 of these elements. Now let me make the second example, and that is if you are not a startup. So if you're not a startup, I'd expect you to work with all 12 of these, and I would just say you do a 6.6 here, which adds straight away 61,000 to your bottom line, and your profit actually more than doubles. It goes to over 100,000 based on initial current revenue of just 60,000. So how does this work? What is this magic? The magic is using a principle called leverage. So without changing anything from your initial annual revenue, your costs, there's zero cost involved in any of this because there's no advertising. When you tweak certain elements of the marketing mix and you add 4 or 5% improvement in each, which is possible, this is what the extra you extract from that same cake, which is in the beginning. So this is what a profit acceleration simulation is. Now this is just really an a kind of basic simulation. Obviously, when you're a multi-million-dollar company, you're not going to be satisfied with this, right? But I don't want to confuse you ladies with very detailed stuff. But for the startups, this is enough. I can work with you on this. For companies which are more down the road, they have revenue, they're making money, we can go into a much more detailed work and analysis. Some of these screens I've shared with you on the group, and we can create a very detailed plan month by month for the whole year, which is like a project plan. And when you do this, the advantage of doing this is you work in a very scientific manner. You take one thing at a time, you master it, you improve it, then you move to the next. And you know that 12 months later, this is the kind of roughly this kind of revenues what you can create. So you can create a very clear revenue target when working with a coach that you should and will achieve at the end of 12 months. And the difference is when you work without this, you work in a random manner, and that can work for you, but in most cases, it doesn't. And it's like a bit like playing a video game. You keep reaching a high score, then you go back and start playing around with it again, and you don't really benefit from having a guide or mentor help you. So this is what the simulator is. I'm happy to do a free session with anybody who wants it. No hard sell, just happy to give you the report and you can work with it. And if you want to work with me, I'm of course even happier. But I want you all to succeed, and please use this tool to maximize your business success. Thank you.